All right, so what I feel could be a fitting scenario for that word irony. I'm currently sitting here in a food court at Tuggerah, and I'm going to reflect on my 7-day water fast. So it's currently Saturday the 20th of June, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning here on the New South Wales Central Coast. And this time last week I finished eating a corn cob. I was sitting in this very chair at this very moment last week, and I haven't eaten anything since. So thus that means that I have officially completed my first 7-day water fast. I've only drunk, in the last 7 days, I've only consumed water, green tea and coffee, black coffee. I've tried to keep the coffee to the lowest I possibly could, but over the last few days I've dropped the green tea because I can't stomach it. I really got to the point where I really got sick of liquids, and I just couldn't face green tea anymore. And I also took an electrolyte supplement, which I'll put it up on screen now. Anybody who ever wants to fast, and I don't know if you can get it in the rest of the world, but this is what I use, and I found it absolutely excellent. Yeah, but I found that electrolyte supplement excellent, and it's been a chalk and cheese experience. The last one I did, I'll talk about that in a sec. So in December 2024, 17th, I decided to lose weight, and I took on low carb, high protein diet, but I also took on 16/8 intermittent fasting, so it's an 8-hour eating window, 16 hours of intermittent fasting every day. And I reckon I did that for between 120, 150 days in a row, and I lost a hell of a lot of weight. I lost about 25 kilo. And it works. Intermittent fasting and low carb absolutely works. It just, after about 5 weeks, I found that it absolutely fell off. It was an incredible experience. But I found, I think I've got some photos here. I found in the end, I looked gaunt. I looked like I was starving, and I look back now, and I was really, really excited when I saw that at the time, but I look back now at those photos in absolute horror. So I don't know what went on. It was a mystery, and then over the next couple of months I put on about 20 kilos, but all my clothes when I was at my trimmer still fit. So I don't know what goes on. I don't feel like I put on fat at all. I feel good, I feel strong. But anyway, this is about my 7-day water fast, right? So the moment's ticked over, and it's an emotional moment. My head's absolutely spinning. I thought right on 10 o'clock I'd be eating, but it's just a testament to how good I'm feeling today. I just feel great, and it's been a real turnaround. It's been a grind the last couple of days, a real grind. But I took on that intermittent fasting, and then I caught the fasting bug, and I thought, all right, I want to try an extended fast now, because when you start doing this, you invariably start watching YouTube clips, and you come into these people like that Ben Azadi and Jason Fung and Dr. Ekberg. Jason Fung and Dr. Ekberg, they've been absolutely critical to my health journey. Absolutely critical. I think they're probably Freemasons, but at this point I don't care. They've been absolutely critical for me. They do some amazing work. But anyway, I caught the fasting bug, and then I thought I'd do a 24-hour fast, and I tried it twice, an extended fast, and I tried it twice, and I only got to 24 hours each time because I just couldn't see. My eyes were like, I was sitting in front of the computer with glasses on, and I never do that, Like, I'm at a point now, I never wear my glasses. I haven't put my glasses on, apart from, times during this fast. I never wear my glasses, But they failed, and then pretty much 6 months ago, it's incredible how it's worked out, and it's all just by chance, I certainly didn't design it like this. It was mid-December last year. I remember I started on the Wednesday night when I went to bed, and I finished on the Monday morning, and I broke it with Alex. But that experience, the way I go is I've got no real goal. I just want to try and do an extended fast. And as I went on and on with it, I wanted to get to 5 days as it just kept going, but it was a horrible experience, horrible, because it turns out I was electrolyte depleted. And I don't know if I've said this yet, but I used electrolytes this time, so I tried to do this video 3 times and I've had issues. And I don't even know if the audio is going to work, because I'm in a busy food court. But I use these electrolytes here, and they've made my experience just chalk and cheese, They've been amazing, because that's what I found. I couldn't find any electrolytes, because every electrolyte you find around here, they've all got calories in them, and it was so frustrating. So after the fast, I went online and I found these ones, and they've been absolutely terrific, and it's been a chalk and cheese experience. I haven't felt any of those. I can't even explain it now. I just felt dead, and I felt depleted, and I felt hopeless, and it just mentally I couldn't do it. Where this time I could. But don't get me wrong. This has been a mental, psychological war, and I emerged sitting here now in this same chair the same time as when I finished eating that corn last week, and I feel now I've got the capacity to do anything I put my mind to. Like, not everyone has done a 7-day water fast, and I have, And I'm not trying to exalt myself. It's nothing like that. But I feel bloody good about myself. I feel like I've achieved something absolutely monumental, and I'm so emotional, because the last 3 days I put on my latest video, the long one, that I've been watching, old clips of the leftovers and all that, and I'm just so nostalgic, and I'm so emotional, and I'm just full of joy this morning, like. I've spent half an hour this morning learning how to soft boil an egg, because I haven't done it in years, and like, I'm going to go home now. I can't even say it. It's so hard, but I'm going to drink bone broth. Oh. Like, what a victory. And the plan was to do that at 10, but I'm still here. So whenever I get home, like whenever I'm gonna have some bone broth, and then I'm gonna have 2 soft-boiled eggs. This is a thing called refeeding syndrome. And I want to ease my body back into it, because I'm conscious that my body has been inactive for 7 days, and it's never been through anything like this. Like, yeah, I went to 109 hours last time, but I tell you, that period from 100 hours to 168, you think, oh, I'm at 100 now, and you think, I've only got 68 to go. No, it doesn't quite work like that, It's been a grind. It's been an absolute mental, psychological grind. The whole time my body's been up to it. Oh, my body's been so tough, so resolute. The hunger's been interesting. It's come and gone, and I think it was I get confused because I started at like 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's half and half, as I wake up at 3. But it was around I think it was Wednesday. It was brutal. I was so hungry on Wednesday, and I'm like, oh man, I've still got like 3 days to go after this, and I don't know if I can do this, And then Thursday I woke up and I'm like, la 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 la, and I just felt. And Mum said to me, she said, "You haven't been taking drugs, have you?" I said, "It's how it feels." I just felt, and from then on, I've just been in this parallel world. I feel like I'm in an alternate reality, and everybody around me is in the normal reality. And I've just been so calm. I've been so peaceful. I've been so patient. And it's really made me think of the metaphor of fasting in the scriptures, where like fasting is invariably, it's undeniably like mourning and repentance and afflicting your souls. And I just wonder, because this has enabled me to walk in the gospel easily. Like the inner war, it's a piece of cake. Like I'm not reacting to anything. Everything's just the water off a duck's back. Nothing's bothering me. People are rude to me and I just don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's not a reflection on me, and it's a reflection on them. And I'm like, so long as my conscience is clear, and I'm like, you see what I'm like? I'm chirpy. I'm bright. You know, because it's all changed this morning, and it's just been easy. Like easy to follow the gospel in this fasted state. You know. And I think on the next video, which I don't know when I'm going to start, and I'm thinking of doing it today, but I don't want to rush, you know. I just feel like I need 2 days where I just stop, you know. I just stop and I breathe and I reflect. And I was debating whether to do this video or not because I don't want to look as though I'm exalting myself, but I decided to do it because I just wanted to document my experience because it is a diary. And I know when you put up 7-day water fasts, like strangely, you get a whole heap of just normal people talking about their experience, which at this point is extraordinary. It's not just Freemasons, you know, selling products and narratives and all that. So maybe, you know, people might get something out of it if they're looking to do it, you know, the benefits and all that. I can't go to, you know, all I can offer with autophagy and stem cells and all that sort of stuff is what, you know, the narrative tells you. But when I got so emotional there about bone broth, I feel this is what they call like a dopamine reset. And when your dopamine levels are low, because normally I go home and I have a bone broth and it's just normal, you know, but this will be no normal cup of bone broth, you know. And I won't do it because my phone's there, but I bought a tub of yogurt there before, and like to have a spoonful of that, you know, it's going to be outstanding. And I feel that appreciation, that gratitude has completely reset. And you just think, like physically and biologically, I can only imagine the benefits that's gone on inside my body as a result of this. It must be astonishing, you know. And it's the only thing that's... I'll go back. So these are my weights. I started out this time last week. I weighed myself and I was 95.3, I think, and I just weighed myself there. Then I was 88.2, so I've lost 7.1 kilos, which would be about, I don't know, about 16 pound maybe. I've lost 15, 16 pound. And I know a lot of that's water, but I also know there's a lot of fat because you dump the water early. And I'm losing a kilo a day at the moment. It's amazing. And in fact, I've woken up this morning. What was I saying before? But I wanted to go back. I can't remember. I was talking about gratitude and all that. But So I had Tuggerud planned on Thursday because I've tried to stay consistent and not withdraw and stay public and sit in food courts, you know, not avoid the issue, embrace the issue, you know, like this is, I can look back and I can go, right, yeah, I live normally. I've lived normally and I associated with people, like in terms of I was among people. People don't talk to me. And I've sat in food courts drinking black coffee, and I mix them down with water. Like I probably got quarter coffee, you know, 3/4 water. I've stored up a whole heap of black coffee at home. It's amazing, and that's what I drink when I get home. But I got heaps over. Like I've just bought small coffees today. I mean, I can't even get my hand around this thing. It's that small, you know. But I haven't finished that. Like my thermos is, you know, I've got some in my thermos here. I keep forgetting where I am. But anyway, yeah, on Thursday I came here and I bought this top. I wanted to buy this top, you know. And I got it, and I bought a new slow cooker down at Big W, and And then on Friday, I had a good day with Mum planned. I wanted to go down and mow the lawn and spend some time with Mum and do my washing. And I did that, and I thought that'll break up the day, and it did. I didn't get home until 2 o'clock, and then I'm like, right, you get through today, and then you're into Saturday. That's it. You've only got Saturday morning. You've got 2 sessions. You've got before I come to Tuggerah, and it's like when I come to Tuggerah and go home, you just got 2 little sessions left. And I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, as I come up with a saying last fast, I said, in day 1, you're earning the right to go into day 2, and day 2, because you earned the right day 1 to execute day 2, you're now striving to earn the right to go into day 3. And I implemented that again today, and it was like the opposite to day 1. Day 6, I earned the right to execute day 7, and day 7, I've earned the right to sit here now and say I've done a 7-day water fast. I just can't get my head around it. I was going to say I honestly thought I wasn't capable of this, and I think that's true. I didn't, and I've done it. I saw a comment early in the fast on a video. Somebody said fasting is like climbing a mountain. It's grueling, it's hard, but the view at the top is just breathtaking, and that's how it feels. It's just a monumental moment, and it's. I haven't told anyone. Nobody cares about what I've got to say, and I test that. I don't share anything about myself unless people ask, and not one person during this fast has said, "How you going? How's your day? What are you up to?" and all that. Nothing. The whole week, and I've spoken to quite a few people. I've only told Mum and Alex. But I woke up this morning and I thought, I feel good. I feel good. I went on my walk and I had a renewed energy, and at the moment, frankly, I feel like I could do day 8, But I've had enough, I just can't. That's the thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I just can't go another. I think I could. I think if there was something in it for me, if there was a carrot, like, say, if I go another day, I'm going to lose 3 kilos of body fat, I'd probably consider it. And that may be true, but I've reached the end mentally, Well, I don't even know if that's true. I think the mind is an amazing thing. Like, I found day 5 and 6 a grind, a real psychological grind. It's not about not eating, it's about continuing. And that may seem like a paradox, but it's not when you're doing it, It's like, I'm not going to eat, that's not going to happen. But the battle is just to keep going, even though if you don't keep going, that means you're going to eat, Eating's out of the question. But it's like, I've got to keep going. And maybe it is a paradox, I don't know, but that's my experience, I've never wanted to eat. Well, I've wanted to eat, but it's never been in the question to eat, and it's like, because this has been on my bucket list, most people's bucket list is to go to Niagara Falls or Ayers Rock or the Opera House or Eiffel Tower and all that sort of stuff, skydive and all. Mine's to do a 7-day water fast, and I've ticked it off, I've ticked it off. I've actually been proactive, and I've gone and done this, and I'm just humming, man. I'm absolutely zinging, and when I used to play golf, right, one round really stands out for me. I had a 72, a par round one day, and that was my dream in golf, to have a par round, and it took me 15 years to achieve it, of playing golf, because my head wasn't right for golf at all. And I had a 71, but I don't hold that one up in the same category, but I'll use the 72 for an example. So when you're in golf, after about 4 holes, if you're on. You stand over the ball and it's all different, everything's there, there's magic there, there's this confidence and there's an air of inevitability you're going to execute, And when you hit a bad shot, you're absolutely shocked. Where when you're playing bad, you're just expecting to hit it. You know, I play army golf, and when you hit a good shot, you're surprised. You know. And I remember this day. I don't remember a lot about the day, but boy, do I remember the last hole. It was a par 3, and I was standing on the tee, even par, and it was a hard par 5, hard par 3.
To finish the 9, a long par 3 back towards the clubhouse. It's slightly uphill, there's the bunker on the right-hand side, and the green works its way from left to right diagonally away from you. Beware the back right pin, and again, be below the hole. That's the key here.
And I remember this day. I don't remember a lot about the day, but boy, do I remember the last hole. It was a par 3, and I was standing on the tee, even par, and it was a hard par 5, hard par 3. And it was horrible for my shape, you know. It sort of slid a little bit right, and there was a bunker there, and the pin was behind the bunker, you know. So you have to hit this really strong cut into it. And I found it really hard to cut the ball. I like to hook it. Anyway, I'm standing on that tee, and it was a long iron. It was about a 4 iron for me. It was about 170, 80 metres. So I think I was hitting about a 4 iron. It may have been a 3, because I wasn't long. And I remember I hit this really nice shot. I hit it dead straight, like a dart, and it was just to the left of the bunker, and it was directly at the pin, but it just hit the upslope, of the green, and it bounced up in the air, and there was no momentum to take it on. But I just had this little 9-iron bump and run just to get it close. It's probably 30 feet, just a bump up the hill with a 9-iron. Could have putted it, but I like my little 9-iron bump and run, right? And man, I smashed it. I smashed this thing like 15, 20 feet, I reckon, past the hole. It's hard to remember, but I remember it was a long putt, and I was destroyed. I was devastated. I thought, typical Brett, typical. You get all the way to the end and you just bugger it up again, you know. And then I stood over the putt, and I smashed this thing again, and it just curled into the middle of the cup, and it actually went up in the air and went boom, back down in the hole. I hit it that hard. I probably would have 3-putted it if it had went past. It's probably back to where I chipped it from, you know. My point being, when you play golf, you know you're wrong, but you don't know that you're going to achieve until that last putt is in the hole, because golf can do that to you. You can be 6 under, and all you want is a par round, but anything can happen with golf, you know. You can hit a shank, who knows with golf, right? But so when I hit that last putt into the hole, I was euphoric for a week, you know. And I went into that clubhouse, and I got pissed, as I should have, you know. I did the occasion justice. But with this, it's different, because I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to the idea. And when you actually cross that line, it's not like what you thought, you know. Yes, I feel victorious and all that, but it's just like, I feel guilty for stopping. It's bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. And I've achieved something monumental, but I just feel like I'm leaving something in the tank. It's just weird. And I've just woken up this morning, and I feel great. You know, I've got no brain fog. The hunger's mild, and it comes in waves, and it's been like that right through. Day 1 was easy. Day 2 was brutal. That was so hungry. Day 3, that was the day where I was off with the Pixies, I think it was. And then day 4, see, I get confused because I can't remember, because I half day, you know. It may have been day 4 I was off with the Pixies. But then I think it was day 4, it became brutal, and then day 5 and 6, it just became a grind, a real grind, you know. And Mum said, "Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just foggy." She said, "You seem really vague." I said, "I probably am." I said, "But I'm in a really good place, you know. I feel good, I feel calm, I feel relaxed and patient, you know." But another reason why I want to stop is I'm just a tad worried about my blood pressure. This happens every fast. My blood pressure just goes up. And it's the common experience that everyone else's goes down, but mine goes up. And so does my heart rate. And I'm just a little bit worried about that. So that indicates my body could be under a bit of stress, and I don't want to stress it. I want to reset it, and I want to get benefits. And that's the main reason I'm stopping is that. And just even though I feel I could do another day, yesterday and Thursday, I was cooked. I was just mentally cooked, you know. And I feel today, I feel good because I know the end's here. It was either going to go one or two ways today. I was either just going to be absolutely down in the dumps and limping towards the line, or I was just going to just wake up euphoric because I know the end's here, you know. It's like, what's an analogy? I don't know. It's like maybe a football game where you're 6 goals up with a couple of minutes to go, you know, you've done it. You know you've done it, and you wake up and you just go, I've done it. And it's just that feeling of absolute euphoria, you know. Coming out of the closet for me was a big deal. That's the hardest thing I've ever done. That par round of golf, because that par round of golf was medal day, so it was off the blue plates at the back and it was off the deck. You couldn't have a preferred lie. And that was in November. It was on my birthday I did that. That was a special day. That was my 27th birthday. That ranks right up there, but I look at this and you think, yeah, coming to Christ should be your greatest achievement. It's like, that's the Holy Spirit's achievement, you know. That's certainly been the most life-changing, the most powerful. Like, just, it's a complete translation of attitude and outlook and philosophy, and it's the literal, you know, turning of the page. You're going north and you literally turn around and start going south. That's what walking with Christ is. That's not even in the equation, you know. But just in terms of my own achievements, you know, I could be recency bias here, but I will say it's at least in the top 3, and it could be the most monumental because it's so long. Like, a game of golf is 4 hours, you know. Coming out of the closet, it was done in a couple of days, you know. But that was hard. I had to dig deep to do that, you know. I had to really, really get that. That was hard. To sit in front of your parents at 30 years old and tell them that you're a poof, it's not easy. It's not a joy. You go and tell your alpha male brother, and you think he's going to knock your head off. And you have to go and tell your ex-wife and your kids, and it was fun. It's a choice, right? But anyway, it's not about that today. If it was a choice, I wouldn't have chosen it. Like, as if you'd choose this. Like, my goodness. As if you would choose this. So there it is. I feel like I've forgotten something. I was saying something there before and I got off track, but I feel like I've captured this well. I just hope the audio has come out. But I'm not one to lecture other people. You know, I'm not one to sit up here and teach and go, you can do it too and all that. But what I will say is, if anybody out there is considering it, my advice is to work your way up to it. Don't go for a 7 day straight away. Work your way up to it. Maybe do a 24-hour 1 month, and then the next month shoot for 24. But if you can get to 72, because I say once you get to 72, you've got your big boy pants on there. Then you really, now you're into the realm of the grow-ups. This is where it gets hard. This is where it gets really hard, and it becomes a real psychological test. But work your way up to it, because as I say before, you think you get to 100 hours and you think, I've only got 68 to go. It doesn't work like that. The last 3 days have just gone so slow, you know. I didn't think this moment would ever come, but here it is, you know. I'm having a hunger wave now, you know. But psychologically, I feel good. There's a tad of a fog there. Like, I feel like I'm in a marijuana hangover. That's how I feel. I felt like that for about 5 days now. Just foggy and chilled and cruisy, and nothing's worrying me. I'm not anxious. I'm walking quite slow. I'm driving measured. People can say whatever they want. I just don't care. And that's the key to it. Like, holding back anger and all that and overcoming all these things, you just got to get to a point where you just don't care, you know. And that's the challenge for me, and that's the big thing that it's taught me, is just don't worry about it. When people carry on, don't worry about it. Just don't let it bother you. And it's certainly something I'm going to take on board and do my best to do. Alex is an expert at it, you know. He's just naturally like that. Nothing bothers the guy. It's just, everything's just whatever. It's just an experience, you know. Yeah, but work your way up to it, and I can't. oversold, undersold, right? So the value of electrolytes cannot be oversold. They are invaluable. Get yourself some good electrolytes, because trying to do it without them, and everything you look up, it all says electrolytes, but everything has to be 0 calories. For me, the only thing that I feel can be consumed on a true water fast, and probably water, a true fair income water fast, I need a green tea and coffee. Maybe next time I'll try it without it, I don't know. But I've had hardly any coffee and green tea the last few days, hardly any. I just haven't been able to stomach it. It's just been all water, pretty much, just all water. And all of my coffees have been quite weak. My green teas are strong. I put two bags in that because, it's green tea. But just keep your salts up, keep your electrolytes up, and don't go for the jugular straight away. Just work your way up, and, after about 6 months of having a fast every month, give it a go, Or you might be you might be different, You might get to 24 hours, and I guess I'd recommend that, Get to each day, and if you feel okay and you feel like you can continue and you're mentally up for it and your body feels good, the body's amazingly resilient. Like, I live next door to 2 people who are just chronic smokers, and they never stop coughing, and they look like just zombies. They just look like ghosts. They look like they can hardly walk and breathe. And you see the way they look, and you think about the condition of their body, and they still, get up to the club and have their beers and smokes, They sit out there and have their smoking and coughing parties. My point being, the human body's extremely resilient, It's mental. I've proved it to myself. It's mental. Like, I woke up on Wednesday, and for some reason day 4 was so hard. It was just because you get to day 3.5 and you think, I'm only halfway, and you think you feel like you've been doing it forever. And I woke up and I convinced myself that day that today's going to be hard. Today's going to be a grind, and it was. And as soon as I thought it, I started to get hungry. And then from there, once I put my mind to it that I was absolutely doing 7 days, because I wasn't committed to 7 days, I was committed to 5, shooting for 7 at the start. But once I set my mind to 7 days, everything started to settle down, because I knew I was in it, and I knew there was no way out. So I had to frame it in the most positive way, because I knew that was my right. So I don't know, it's an amazing experience. I don't know whether I should give the glory to Jesus or not, because it was a work of my own hands. It was something that I was sitting here, I can't remember, it was maybe a couple of days. I'll go through my history and see if I can put the date. There was a Fasting Fred video, and he was talking about fasting, the 13-day barrier or something he said. And I thought, fasting, I'd been dabbling with it, the idea, over the last few weeks. And I literally got here yesterday, and the idea just grew and grew and grew. And I put in a co-pilot. I'm thinking of doing a 7-day fast starting today. And I'm thinking, I had this for breakfast at 7 o'clock. And now I'm thinking of just having a black coffee and a corn on the cob, just to get myself replenished before I go. And I'll start when I get home at 10 o'clock. Well, when I leave here after the corn at 10 o'clock. And it said, that sounds like a good idea, Brett. And I thought, all right, I've brought it to life now. I've spoken to co-pilot about it. I've brought it into the realm. There it is. I've spoken it, not just thought it. And I did it, it's just an amazing. I look back 10 days ago, and here I am. I've done a 7-day fast. It's an exhilarating feeling. So if you want a psychological test, if you want to know who you are, what you're made of, and all that, I would thoroughly recommend it. It's hard, but God, it's a rewarding experience. It is an absolutely amazing experience, and I've got to say, I sit here right now, and I don't care what other people think of me now. I don't need their approval, because I think I've just done a 7-day water fast, and Nobody can ever take that away from me. And I just feel emotional, but euphoric.